When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle. Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that will make your ears gay.
Oh, no.
I've given in to the AI. AI is going to write my entire script for the rest of, I don't know, forever.
Great. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
That's ChatGPT. He's lying to you.
Getz PT.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today,
I've succumbed to the AI of it all, and per our last episode. But today, we're not talking about AI again. We're talking about ghosting. Oh, I hate it. It can go only. Wow. Sometimes you don't talk, and I know you don't like it. I didn't know I could feel this way. Okay, now you have to start talking again.
We're gonna talk about ghosting. But first,
I
have a quick correction.
Okay.
I need to correct my last week's Straightest because it was
you can't.
It was incorrect. The straightest thing about me the week before last week's taping was when I was in Boston and I was in the Uber from the airport to my hotel. The Uber driver was saying to me, "It's a good thing you're not staying at the Westin because there's some kind of animal thing happening there." I think, "Animal thing? What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, they're wearing like big animal heads and they have tails and like they're all over the place up there. It's crazy." I said, "Like furries?" And he goes, "No, it's an animal thing." He just clearly had no idea what it was. So then I looked at my phone, and it was actually the Anthro New England 2023 convention.
That doesn't help me clarify what that means.
AnthroNewEngland.com. It's a furry group. It was there was a furry convention.
He's like, "No, I think it was team mascots or something."
I did ask about mascots.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that was like, as soon as I realized that it was furries, I was just like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what that is."
Life. It gets weird. I don't know.
Take me to the Marriott.
You didn't start turning into education mode of like, "Hey, I know a lot about this."
No.
Yeah. Was that out of self-protection, perhaps, or?
Yeah. Well, and the things that he said made it clear that he was not in a place to receive that information.
Yeah, you could tell his heart wasn't open.
Yeah.
I
guess that's it.
All right.
Here's the news.
Maybe before the news, if you got to us via an ad on Grindr, welcome.
Welcome, Grinders.
Grindies. Well, if you clicked on the ad about ghosting, you didn't get ground.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gayish. We're so happy to have you.
Big Fatty calls it the Grin Doctor, and that makes me laugh every time.
What a weird guy. For our regular listeners, we're trying to help grow and promote the show, and one of the ways we thought to do that was on Grindr. So if you came here via that, let us know, because we want to see if it worked. And also, hi, we're amazing.
Yeah.
Give us like a few more. Oh,
your next Grindr hookup, tell them about the show.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Word of dick. And for our existing listeners, just so you know, we do the
Be on Grindr more.
I guess I can't because I got kicked off. So, but we're going to do the news, and then we talk about ghosting. You can look in the show notes, and you can see at what point do you want to listen to the news? If yes, stick around. You don't have to do anything. It's coming at you. And if you want to just hear us talk about the topic, you can always go to the show notes, look at the timestamp there, and just jump right to that.
Yep. And if you want to ghost us, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about why.
Fuck you. You won't even hear why you're such a bad person. I do have some data on ghosting I think I'm going to help explain why people ghost and what they believe. So I think there'll be some good ghosting shit.
Excellent.
Yeah. But anyway, now the news.
Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News.
I always feel weird kicking off I can't kick off the news. That's not allowed, but I can do whatever I want.
It's your show.
Yeah, but still.
Jesus Christ, Kyle. News the first. The Food and Drug Administration has yet again announced that they are going to change their blood donation guidelines for men who have sex with men.
I always assume it doesn't matter what they change it to. I always assume I'm too slutty to qualify.
Same, girl. And yes, I think that's true.
Okay.
But they're proposing changes to their blood donation guidelines for men who have sex with men and women who have sex with men who have sex with men who also can't do it.
I mean, bisexual, pansexual would be the human definition of that, but yeah.
But the new guidelines don't have any mention of gender or sexual orientation. It's purely sexual behaviors.
That's smart. I mean, it's smart. I said that as like translation for human ears, but yeah, it's smart to like, what do you actually mean? And it's not like if you're bisexual or if you're gay. It's like if you do this.
Yeah, and like if you're a trans woman, is it like because you have a penis? Is it like or potentially still have a penis? Is that like how should that count? Like it's not about gender. It's about like the parts and the behaviors that are happening more than anything.
It's about two dicks that fall in love.
Yeah. So apparently we're like basically matching what Canada and the UK are doing.
When I think of matching Canada, I think of that's a good thing. I think of them as being chill.
Yeah. Can we still be into Justin Trudeau or was he canceled? I forget.
Oh, I don't know. He's pretty.
He is pretty. He has a hot ass.
Hot ass?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen it.
Oh. I'll show it to you.
Okay. Can't wait.
So. The new rules allow you to donate blood if you haven't engaged in certain sex acts in the last few months.
I'm out. Oh, wait. I guess I don't know what acts they are.
Everyone will be asked about new or multiple sexual partners in the last 3 months.
Yes and yes.
If you did have new or multiple partners, then you'll be asked about having had anal sex in the past 3 months.
Yes.
And if you have, you are prevented from donating.
Just if you have any anal sex with a new partner?
New or multiple partners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I did kind of see, like, you kind of have to be, like, monogamous to and wrap it up to donate, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's still some room there for, like, they're discriminating against throuples.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Even if that's a closed
throuple?
sexual loop that still is multiple partners.
Yeah.
So you can't. And then the other thing is if you're on PrEP, you can never donate.
Wait.
Well, up to 3 months. So you have to have been off PrEP for at least 3 months. And if you're doing injectable PrEP, which is gaining traction out there in the universe, you have to defer for 2 years since your last dose.
Damn.
But they said that there is available data that indicates that PrEP and PEP can interrupt HIV detection in the way that they screen the blood. So it's entirely possible for you to be positive and not know it and have being on PrEP or PEP give a false negative.
Is that true of my HIV testing too?
Yes.
That seems very dangerous because the point of doing regular testing is because you need to know if you're positive to, like, then you shouldn't continue taking it. Like,
it's a great point.
That's scary.
It's a great question. Great point. Yeah.
Ooh, I hate that. That sounds like something I actively have to, like, look into now.
The FDA also urged those that are on PrEP to continue taking the medication and don't donate blood. Don't stop taking PrEP so that you can donate blood.
Yeah, the goal is to get from a vast majority of, I'll just say, like, gay men or men who have sex with men, like, the goal, I think, should be getting most people onto PrEP because that's the, like, safe way to reduce HIV transmission, and that will then inherently eliminate
but not everybody needs to be on PrEP.
Not everyone.
Just the slutty ones. Which is you.
Which
and
I'm
me.
also. I could be a slut for donating blood if they let me.
Oh.
You can't be a slut for both.
Yeah. Or you shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's really interesting. I think that, you know, there's perhaps room for improvement, or maybe this is the best that we can hope for. But it does seem more in line with, like, science and data and less about, like, ew, AIDS, icky from the 80s, which is how a lot of these policies got started.
Yeah. That's good.
Yep. News the second?
Great.
Okay, great. The latest Granite State poll, a presidential poll out of New Hampshire, has Pete Buttigieg just kicking Biden's ass.
Wow.
In polling for who would you vote for the Democratic nomination for the 2024 election.
Oh God, I kind of forgot. Like, now that we're in 2023, it's next year, so we're gonna start. God, fucking damn it, goddamn fuck shit. I just don't want it anymore.
I know. You know.
Are we still convinced we need a president? That's still part of we still are like, we're gonna keep doing that.
I don't know.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not convinced that the whole like Joe Biden isn't just like Weekend at Bernie's. You know, the president's actually dead.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not convinced that would be a bad thing.
The University of New Hampshire Survey Center asked likely Democratic primary voters in the state of New Hampshire for their first choice among presidential candidates. 23% said Pete Buttigieg, and only 18% said Joe Biden. So he won by 5 points. And Biden tied with Elizabeth Warren. And then after that, Bernie Sanders had 15%. Everyone else was in single digits. They asked about AOC, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, Raphael Warnock of Georgia, California Governor Gavin Newsom. Everybody else was just in the basement.
Oh, okay. I mean, the top ones, I'm like, we've done this before. We've done this primary before. So at least you're giving me new names in the basement. Like, you know, shit's going to change around a bunch, but I got some new names in the basement.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and in case people didn't know, which especially for our international audience, this is important because Pete Buttigieg, it's gayish because Pete Buttigieg is gay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like a known homosexual is running for president or potentially running for president. It's probably bad form if he runs for president before his boss says that he isn't.
Yeah.
But
I mean, his boss has said that he is, so.
Well, no, he said that he would say something after the State of the Union.
Oh.
And the State of the Union is coming up shortly.
Oh, okay.
Many people are hopeful that he will not run because no poll anywhere says, yay, Joe Biden, we're real excited.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, even when he won, it wasn't yay, Joe Biden. We weren't excited about Joe from the beginning. We just needed him.
Yep, exactly. He was more than not Trump vote.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really interesting. I think following this is super fascinating because maybe it's internalized homophobia. I am not convinced that this country is ready for a gay president. And somebody was telling me just this weekend, well, we didn't think the country was ready for a black president either, and we elected Obama, and that was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Maybe the country is ready for a gay president, and I'm out of touch.
Oh, yes. I would say maybe consider it because like the we've passed the like I think cis gay white men are the most acceptable of us and are maybe, you know, all the attacks have been on gender, trans people, drag queens, gender nonconforming people. Like, yeah. I think that's why the attacks are going that direction because cis gay men have become socially acceptable, especially like ones that are kind of neutral and moderately pleasant, like Pete Buttigieg.
Like Mayo Pete.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, he's non-offensive.
Yeah, non-offensive. I agree. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Also, if he ends up running against Trump, if Trump ends up being the Republican nominee and he runs against Trump, like all of those like we love the military people are still going to vote for Trump, but
right.
but they can't, they don't have the moral high ground there. That's for sure.
They can't. That's one thing they can't use against.
Mr. Bone Spurs versus an actual like legit veteran,
Mr. Bone,
which he looks good in that uniform.
Yeah,
Pete Buttigieg. There's that picture of him with like he's.
Are you just on like politidads.com? Like, where are you finding all these hot pictures of political figures?
Well, you know, stick with me, kid.
Okay.
I'll teach you some shit.
Okay.
News the last.
Great. Oh, buddy.
I know.
What's up, buddy?
All right. The silver lining in the cloud I'm about to talk about is that Maya Rudolph.
And you don't need to say more. I already love it.
Is now the spokesperson for M&M's.
Yeah.
After conservatives attacked M&M's for slightly redesigning some of their signature mascot characters to be more inclusive, and Tucker Carlson flipped out, and the far right flipped out and bullied M&M's into like they're fucking upset about cartoon candies, Kyle. Oh my God. I can't. And then they tweeted, America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved spokes candies. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, and we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. But now we get it. Even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&M's wanted, since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we've decided to take an indefinite pause from the spokes candies. In their place, we are proud to introduce a spokesperson America can agree on, the beloved Maya Rudolph. We're confident Miss Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels they belong. M&M's. So fucking stupid. Oh my God, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I can't. Republicans, what the fuck is wrong with you? Drag queens, I'm so sorry. All of the shit that's happening across the whole I'm going to help me, Kyle.
Help you. I don't think I can do much. I think this is life. I think we're here and we have to be in it. I mean, is this okay? One person I saw tweeted like, this is so obviously set up for a Super Bowl commercial. Like, I can't even stand it. It was like, oh, that's right.
Maybe. Okay, so conservatives started attacking M&Ms when they released a candy package that had only the female characters, the green M&M, the brown M&M, and the new purple M&M. So then they had the 3 female characters upside down with the message supporting women flipping the status quo. And then Fox News went crazy, said that like green and brown had once held hands in a 2015 ad and that they are probably lesbians. And Tucker Carlson flipped out because, first of all, they made the green M&M less sexy. So, and that meant that the new packaging was woke.
Oh, yeah. Woke. That word that means something that just challenges my worldview slightly.
The new purple female M&M is a peanut M&M, and so is bigger. And he said, quote, and now there's a plus-sized obese purple M&M. Ben Shapiro said, women, do you feel represented now because of the green, purple, and brown M&Ms on the M&M package that you're guzzling down lonely in your apartment with your wine and your cats? How's that going for you?
Wow. What a fucking asshole.
What a fucking asshole. Just care about something that matters.
Care about something that matters. Like creating, it's just like for the people that are like, oh, fuck your feelings and we want individual rights and whatever and like my freedom of speech or whatever. They get angry about every fucking thing and then they just call it woke, and that's their like go-to playbook to say get riled up about something. And I don't know, maybe M&M's is building towards I would love it if they built towards a Super Bowl ad that was like, fuck you, we're still doing Lady M&M spokes candies because that shouldn't fucking matter. But if they really did like cave to this, remember that just saying me like, oh, I want everyone to get along, like I'm going to take it to the extreme. In our country, that means you're sympathizing with Nazis. Like when you just say you want everyone to get along, basically what you're saying is Nazis are okay. If you're not taking a side, or you're taking a side with Nazis, essentially. Yep. So you like, I fucking hate comparisons that, oh, both sides of the political party do shit, or like, oh, why don't we all get along? That's because in the mix are Nazis. That's why we all can't get along. That's not acceptable. Yep. That's not okay. And that shouldn't be okay. And I don't like, I mean, corporations, their goal is to make money. I get that. And it sucks that they're like, oh, what? Let's all get along together. You're misrepresenting what's going on here.
Yep. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Thank you for that
tirade.
Thank you for that tirade.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
That's the news.
Thank you for thanking me. Speaking of people that
love M&Ms.
Thank you to the following Patreon. It's so hard because some Patreon members are like, you said my name right, and I think they're disappointed. I'm like, oh God. Okay, thank you to the following Patreon members.
Blurby.
Yeah, you are everyone. That could be literally anyone. Terry D.
Terry D?
Yeah, no, Terry D.
Terry D.
Jeff Perron.
Jeff Perron? Jeff?
I said what I said.
Okay, great.
I am James.
Ian James.
Thank you for the Joseph Tinsley.
Joseph Tinsley.
And this one might be a genuine fuck up. LaHaru will. We're not revisiting. Thank you so much to our Patreon members. If you want to support us, we just released, for those at the $5 and up level, we just released our Miley Cyrus episode. Well, like now a few days ago.
Yep.
So
she can't stop.
She won't stop. And
she runs things.
She can buy herself flowers. Then go to Patreon. None of that made, I don't know,
any sense.
Just a little, that's
Gayish.
Gayish. If you want to join, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast. Oh, also, if you are a Patreon member, you got this a day early, and if you're listening to this the day it came out for you, meaning Wednesday, tonight is our Patreon happy hour. So it's February the 1st, 2023. I don't know when you're listening to this. I don't owe you anything. So come hang out. Check in the Patreon app for the meeting details.
Yes, and check your messages, y'all. Apparently some of you don't realize that there's a Patreon like messaging section.
Yeah.
Go to that.
Yeah.
Because we send you things sometimes.
Yeah.
Questions.
Like welcome email will like give all the benefits that you get, and you sometimes need to tell us stuff like a t-shirt size. So now that we've yelled at you, join us. We're lovely.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about ghosting?
Let's talk about hosting.
Hosting.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about the history of ghosting, Kyle.
That makes no sense to me.
I
It
know.
all started with Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Yeah. That's my... That was my ghosting joke.
Isn't Bob Marley still alive?
Whoa, fuck. Bob Cratchit.
Well, he was in the story. No, Bob Marley died in 1981. He's very dead also.
Oh,
but
he's a ghost too. No, I got it. I nailed it. I guess I was right. No, I meant Bob Cratchit.
Or Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
Who was Scrooge's partner.
Okay, I combined these two.
Bob Cratchit.
That's
Jacob Marley.
That's their celebrity couple name.
Yeah. Bob Marley.
I wish they got together at the end. You know. Please talk, Mike.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So
that's okay. Yeah, your segment already doesn't make sense to me, so I'm eager to hear what you're going to say to me.
Excellent. I'm very happy to help you. So,
okay.
I mean, ghosting ghosts. That's been like, that's the connection, right? That like the person is dead. First, let's calibrate a little bit. What does ghosting mean to you?
When someone just like all of a sudden cuts off communication, mostly digitally, just stops responding to you altogether.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. And there's is that implies a romantic relationship of some kind,
or sexual,
or sexual. Okay, great.
But I think the word has now become so ubiquitous. It could include friendships. It could include, like, you might refer to that about an employer. I think you can extend it to lots of other things. And the idea is just anyone cutting off communication when you've started to engage in some way.
Yes, and it has also sort of grown to like people leaving a party. They'll call that ghosting, like the Irish goodbye. Sometimes gets called ghosting. The other thing I've seen it called is just the end of a relationship, even if the person didn't actually ghost. Like there was an interview that I read of this person that was bitching about being ghosted and how much it hurt, and then the other person was like, "Well, what happened?" And they open up their phone and they show them like the last thing that this person said was like, "I really don't think this is working out. Thank you. I had a lovely time with you, but we're done." That's not ghosting. That's an adult breaking up with you.
Yes. Or yes, I absolutely think people apply, like, say they got ghosted. Like, someone might just, like, you get 15 Grindr messages saying, "Hey, what's up? What's up? You there? What's up? Why aren't you responding?" You didn't get ghosted then. Right. You were never. There's no host to get ghosted from, or like there was no corpse there. Like you never had anything to get ghosted from. So I do think a lot of people overuse that word and then as a way to be like, "Oh, that sucks." Like, it just because it felt bad to you, it doesn't mean it was ghosting.
Yep, exactly right. Okay, so the history of ghosting, if we sounds like we're in alignment. Ghosting is somebody without warning just cuts off all contact, rather than providing closure and an end to whatever relationship it was that was happening. So the Merriam-Webster Dictionary added it in 2017.
Oh.
So it is very new that way. It was popularized on the internet in 2015, 2016.
I know we just added the word "ussy" to the dictionary. I didn't know it was newer. I thought "ussy," I would have predated. I would have put "ussy" before I would have put ghosting. I didn't know ghosting existed. That's in my timeline of words that we've created. I didn't know ghosting came first.
Oh, well, and it's actually quite a bit older than "ussy." It just took that long for it to get popular. So it shows up in Urban Dictionary 14 years ago.
Okay.
And in 2004, somebody who goes by the handle Falcon said, quote, adjective describing someone who has left or in the process of leaving. Before that, in 1996, there was a golf enthusiasts group in a Usenet room that said, my instructor ghosted me. Should I lose the bum? So at least as far back as 96, it was used. It's out there, right?
Man, Mike, what were you doing in 96?
I was in college. That was my freshman year of college or senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And I was ghosting people left and right.
Just all over the place, were you?
Kind of.
Were you?
Actually, well, a little bit, yeah. Because I was like flirting with the idea that I was gay, and I was going to try like being gay on the DL, and like chat rooms and shit like that was like the only way to like do that. So I would like chat people up, get to the point of like maybe almost having an encounter, and then chicken out and ghost them. I didn't call it that. If you
no, I wouldn't have known that word back then either. But that's a good point. Like there's a and I guess we'll talk about the good, like there's good and bad to this, but like that's something really specific to our community. A reason for ghosting is because I'm dipping my toe in the gay waters and now I got scared.
Yep.
That's something that I don't think, I mean, straight people can still have their like, I got scared about whatever, but like for this specific reason,
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, like
rationale.
I've said before that everybody actually comes out twice, like to a friend or family member. The one is just the knowledge transfer of like saying the words "I am gay," and then the second is like seeing that person do a gay thing.
Yeah.
Be with somebody of the same gender or whatever. And I think this is similar, but it's for the person that's involved, right? Like flirting with the ideas that are involved online of dipping your toe into the lake gay is as different than like, oh fuck, I'm going to actually go meet a human person. That's another level that I think has its own barrier. It's hard to make that happen.
There was something in a study that I'm not going to talk about, but it was specific to LGBTQIA plus community, and it talked about why like dating apps and the value. And one of it was to like learn and understand the norms of the culture, because you may not get that. You may not be able to get that depending on where you live, whether it's the country you live in or a place you live in a city that's, you know, doesn't have a lot of gay people or whatever. So that's an interesting, unique thing about dating apps is like we're talking about, you can explore your sexual orientation in a way that you might not be able to in person. And sometimes it like helps you pick up on what is our community like? What do you do? How do you talk? What do you know? So there are like picking up on the gay vibes that you may not get elsewhere.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So it turns out, though, that the use of the word ghost as a verb goes way back. Shakespeare used the word ghost as a verb in the play Antony and Cleopatra, but it meant to haunt.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Shakespeare also used the word text in Much Ado About Nothing to mean to write.
What? Yeah. Oh, I guess text like to... Okay.
I decided to text her a poem, and like...
God, if I heard that in a Shakespeare play, now I would be like, what the fuck, Shakespeare? Is he a time traveler?
He might be a time traveler.
Huh.
For him to write that much shit that has impacted the language so much and to be still famous that many years later, like it's almost like the plot of that movie where that guy like got to write all the Beatles songs.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that happened to Shakespeare.
Or maybe he had a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
That was my CSI ending because I said the word ghost. I just put my sunglasses on and marched out of the room.
Oh,
sorry.
No. I thought maybe Twerry was getting railed. It kind of sounded. Great, good work.
Good work, all of us.
So I will.
Bob Marley.
I will end this.
Idiot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will end this segment just by saying that if you really look at widely and pervasively, when did the word ghost get started to be used in American culture? It was in 2015, and it was Charlize Theron's fault.
What?
Yeah. So apparently, when she and Sean Penn broke up, she very publicly said that she stopped responding to his phone calls and text messages and emails, that she was ghosting him. And her use of that is what really put it like all of the tabloids covered it. Fucking People magazine and you know, white women everywhere rejoiced at a new way to express their satisfaction or dissatisfaction with men. Am I right? So Charlize Theron ghosted Sean Penn. Talked about it as ghosting. That's why ghosting got like super popular in American culture, or at least that's the reason. And so I just wanted to say real quick that Charlize Theron is a massive ally. She has a trans daughter and has just really done a lot of stuff for us.
She cut her hair short.
Yeah.
Lesbians all over the world celebrated that day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She played a monster.
Yeah, didn't she?
I don't know. She supports same-sex marriage, attended a march and a rally for that in 2009. She publicly stated that she was never going to get married until same-sex marriage became legal in the United States. Quote, "I don't want to get married because right now the institution of marriage feels very one-sided, and I want to live in a country where we all have equal rights. I think it would be exactly the same if we were married, but for me to go through that kind of ceremony, because I have so many friends who are gays and lesbians who would so badly want to get married that I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself." That's a weird way to put that, Charlize.
Can one sleep with themselves? Huh.
Yeah, anyway, that's the history of ghosting. It's Charlize Theron's fault. It's only like 6 years old.
Well, it seems like that's one of those things where like we've been saying it and then it moves to straight culture. All of a sudden straight people find out about the word and they're like, holy shit. And then you're like, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that it says something that like gays respond to a strong female character and a strong female lead, and for her to be to have this woman be like, I'm doing this thing, fuck him. I think that gays maybe got excited about the power of that.
We're down with her being the straight conduit towards this.
Yeah,
information. Okay. Yeah. I get you. Speaking of,
you have some Gayda.
Speaking of insert transition here.
Great.
I have Gayda.
Great. Excellent segue.
Thank you so much. This is called Gone with the Wind, exploring mobile daters' ghosting experiences. This is by Elizabeth Timmermans and Hermans, Susan J. Opry in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships in 2020.
Okay. What does that have to do with Gone with the Wind? Oh, great.
They said that their definition, just so we're clear, is in line with ours. But they said recently the practice of ghosting has been receiving more academic attention, and I'm seeing that like studies seem to have
received more academic attention.
Yeah. How do I get my dick to receive the same attention? Stop ghosting people, probably. A lot of studies, were like in the last several years, and has been commonly described as, so this is the academic definition of ghosting.
Great. Okay.
Unilaterally cutting off contact with a partner and ignoring their attempts to reach out, commonly enacted via one or multiple technological mediums. So this is not just gay people. This is everybody.
Yeah.
Male, female, and like most studies, it's like, we found out about sexual irritation. So it's like gay and straight is all that they really include. They don't really have much data specific to gays. So this is more just general information about, but what's really interesting is they got right to the heart of it. Why ghostees felt like they had been ghosted and why ghosters ghost.
Okay.
So
great.
Hopefully we'll explain it, at least for this Dutch study. They got surveys from a few hundred people. The number of people that had been ghosties was 85% of the people, which like,
okay.
I mean, I don't know how if you're on any kind of online dating or I don't know how that number is not 100. I know 85 is a lot.
Yeah.
But still, like, I thought everyone had been ghosted once.
Maybe they had, but it didn't hurt.
Maybe they had, but it didn't hurt.
Like
when your dog dies, but you didn't care about the dog that much. Right. You're like, does that count though?
Or a grandparent? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Are you talking about my grandma?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I loved my grandma's.
I mean, I just wasn't around her, so it's like, yeah. Sorry. R.I.P. I guess.
Dead grandma jokes are great.
Yeah, especially when you're indifferent towards her. No, love you, miss you. Oh no.
Don't say that to somebody who's ghosted you, by the way. Love you, miss you.
Love you, miss you. But what you should say is R.I.P. Just kind of like acknowledge the ghosting is kind of funny, I would think. So I don't know, that number, even 85% feels low. I will just go ahead and say that for the people that are ghosters, about 2/3 of people, 63%, so almost 2/3 of people said they had ghosted someone.
Okay.
Which my suspicion is that people ghost more often and just don't register it in their minds as ghosting.
I would agree with that.
So this is all self-reported data, which you have to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah.
So
just like penis size, you can't take people's word for it.
Yeah. Subtract like half an inch mins. But then like when everyone rounds up by 0.5, we don't have to, this is not the time and place to have this discussion. The reasons that ghosties felt like they had been ghosted, 59%. What?
I kind of like the word ghosties is cute.
Oh,
it's like, it's not like cummies, which I know how you feel about that.
God, I'm lucky that like, I don't think that's a bottom word that, so like I'm the one responsible for using that word or not. And I don't, you know, like no top is like, can't wait to give you my cummies, you know, like that's like either the bottom uses that word or not. And I'm not, and don't do it because it's gross.
If anyone said that to me, they would never get cummies again.
They would. We need to make a little sign that's just like cummies and has a line through it. Like, no cummies.
Ghosties. Sorry, ghosties.
Ghosties.
It just sounds like a breakfast cereal or something.
That's true. With Bob Marley on the cover. Okay. 59% blamed the ghoster. They said, and they broke down to like, what are the types of things that they said about the ghoster? So some said like the most popular kind of reason they thought that the ghoster was chatting with someone else or in a relationship with someone else. The next most common kind of way they blamed the ghoster was they thought that the other person had issues and couldn't commit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which I think that's like one of those defensive strategies. You're like, oh, they probably just have issues. You know, like you don't know that this is one interaction that you have with this one person. You don't know if they have issues. Like you're just saying that to try to get, they're probably just sour grapes, you know,
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Next biggest.
It also might be true. There's a lot of fucking psychos out there. So
that's, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe he's crazy. Next most common one was blaming them on like some of their behaviors. They were childish, rude, lazy, disrespectful. So that could be that. I think you have a little bit more insight into, again, like maybe not as a person, but in this interaction, they could have been that. And
sure.
And you're like kind of, but again, I think you're kind of still trying to be defensive about it, like blaming them for that. And another group just guessed that they were no longer interested or too busy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most healthy one to just kind of be like, yeah, maybe they just got too busy.
Yeah. That's okay.
What?
I mean, I think when I think about my own like ghosting patterns, that happens. That is a legit a thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I didn't mean to ghost this person. They just like legit got super busy. I don't know.
And I like don't log into the app every single day, so I don't like. And in fact, I go in spurts. Hot. In like, you know, I'll be on the apps for maybe a couple days, and then I might go for a month and not log on to them. So I'm not like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is that some people would call that ghosting? Like we talked for a little bit and enjoyed it, and then I didn't hear back from you. But like, I don't know. Am I obligated to log in all the like? I don't know.
No.
There's sometimes where I don't feel bad about like what people might call as ghosting, and sometimes I do. And like those are ones where I don't like. Just because we had a great conversation does not mean like I need to keep showing up every day, after day to talk to you, or that I owe you like I may not be on the app for another month. So thus concludes our interaction. You know, I don't feel the need to be too, whatever.
Yep.
But anyway, most common thing that ghosties did was blame the ghoster. The other 37%, however, blamed themselves.
Sure.
They thought
now we're talking.
Now we're into, yeah. I thought maybe this would resonate with both of us of like what we may naturally do. They would, you know, things include like thinking you're not good enough, like not interesting or attractive or too boring or too fat or ugly or not tall enough or not muscular enough.
Check.
Oh, hundo P for surezies. Or they may wonder what they did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I mean,
probably being born.
That was the first worst thing that I did. It hasn't worked out since then. Do you blame yourself for when interactions stop like that?
Sometimes. It really depends. And there's actually, we're going to talk about this. There's some science to it that says that the amount of pain that ghosting causes is tied to your amount of self-esteem or lack thereof.
Oh.
And like when you're down on yourself, that hurts more, and you can definitely like ruminate and rat hole on it, and like it's real bad. But sometimes like when I'm doing better, I'm just like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, they got too busy. I think it is very easy to pretend like that is data. You know, like one of the things I do in therapy is like check the facts. Is a good thing. Like make sure, like, okay, you had the thought in your mind that you're a dumb asshole and no one likes you. For example, hypothetically, you're a dumb fucking asshole and everyone hates you. For example. And then the goal is to check, like, did someone say that to me? You got to like, why do I think this? And where's the evidence for this? And I think people may incorrectly assume that getting ghosted is evidence when it's not. You don't know why. Probably you don't know why they ghosted you.
Yep.
Except for when you send your pictures and then they stop talking to you. That I'm like, it's because you didn't think I was hot.
Oh.
That I'm pretty confident. Like, I feel pretty,
or hot enough.
Hot enough, The last kind of group.
Dumb, fugly, ghosty.
Dumb, fugly cummies. Okay. The last group that they identified, 17% of people blamed the dating app themselves. Like, there are too many people, there are too many choices. They're we matched with someone too far away, so that's why they stopped. So some blame, which is also a true thing, but much smaller percentage.
I definitely have had the thought, Grindr, Scruff, Tinder, that they are not actually incentivized to help you succeed. They're incentivized
absolutely.
to keep you using their app.
Right. Yep.
So it very well could be like some of the patterns in the way that people conduct themselves could maybe be considered a feature and not a bug as far as their thinking is. Well,
but it's interesting, but like the difference between like a hookup app, like they want you to succeed, they want you to succeed, but like they also
Gummies.
TM. That's Childish Gambino. Versus a Tinder, like a dating app, like they don't want you to be in a success, but they want enough that I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, but now let's get to the ghosters.
Have you considered this is conspiracy level shit?
Okay.
The app could ghost for you.
Like not deliver a message?
Yeah. If their algorithm says that will continue to engage you, that you'll move on and keep digging, why not?
Or it could like not match you with certain people if they, or it could like, I never thought about maybe like that might be the more like most apps have some kind of like swipey thing. Like even Scruff has that now. Like I wonder if they show you people like, they stack the deck with like, this person has not gotten a lot of love. Let's get them into more people's stacks.
Yeah.
Or like, man, this person messages and gets responses from so many people. They don't like, we're not going to put them in your stack. That to me is, I think, a more likely conspiracy theory.
Also, well, at Tinder, when you open up the swipey thing, it's always hot guy, somebody who has liked you. Oh. And so it's like they prime you to be like excited about people, and then they show you some person that swiped right on you that you're like being forced to look at.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's upsetting actually. Because there's some people that I'm on the fence about. So then when that person that I'm on the fence about is number 3, I have to swipe either left or right to get to the next person.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Tinder.
Can't you swipe up as a maybe?
No, up as a super like. Don't do that.
Oh, I thought there was a maybe.
No. Never ever do that, Kyle.
Never ever? What if I super like them?
Because no.
Yeah,
no.
That's too much.
At least
too much commitment in these
at least
early
for
days.
Seattle.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
okay. Ghosters.
Ghosties.
Ghosters.
Cummies. Oh, ghosters.
Jizz buckets. No, ghosters. 63% of people said they had ghosted, and here's why.
Great.
2/3 blamed the ghostee.
Sure.
So both of them, the top thing is they're blaming the other person for this happening.
Yep.
So of those kind of reasons someone may ghost, though, some of the top things that fell into that category is their personality. So that, I mean, one was just boring. Someone who falls in love too easy. Someone seemed to have fear of commitment. Like some of those are projections, but other those like if you're being another one.
If somebody sends you the heart eyes emoji too soon,
girl,
game over.
Get the fuck out of here with those hard eyes. You don't know. I've actually turned a corner on that where that's not an immediate like, and actually that's a common response now that I give of like, the one with like, especially people say nice things about the podcast. I'll reply with the heart emojis around you. Like I'm feeling the love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hearts are
hearts are in now, you know?
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm making so much progress since we first started this podcast. And it's using emojis with hearts. Yeah. That's as far as I've come, everybody.
Yeah.
As far as I've come's.
Yeah, well, I was going to say about 6 or 7 feet is as far as I've come.
Have you ever measured it?
How far I've come?
Have you ever gotten out the tape measure?
Nah.
Oh.
No.
That's another episode topic we'll do later.
Yeah, it is.
Distance.
Yeah. Volume.
Speed. Speed 5. The case of the cummies. God, I need to stop saying that word. I fucking hate it so much. Now I've got cummies on the brain. Must be cum on the brain. Okay. Ghosters. God, I'm so sorry, people that we invited to listen to this episode via an ad.
Which of us is in charge of actually like making sure we get through this episode?
No,
like,
I have no fucking idea. Do we need to assign someone to do that? Derek, if we ever say the word cummies again, I don't know, shake a no-no can at us or something.
Get him a squirty bottle like a cat.
Yeah. No. Ghosters.
Welcome, Grindr people.
Hi. They're blaming the ghostie sometimes for undesirable behavior this is again the reasons they're blaming the ghostie for them ghosting them. Undesirable behaviors being pushy, disrespectful, racist, withholding information, sending unsolicited sexual content. Like these, I can very much see the interaction where someone's being an asshole and you're like, I don't have to deal, especially racist. I do not have to deal with this. No.
Yep.
And the person on the other side may not know that they did it. And they may be like, oh, I got ghosted. It's like, no, you deserve nothing in this. So I could see some like those kinds of interactions could happen.
But why not block that person? Like,
I mean, that's a form of ghosting, isn't it?
Maybe.
I think blocking is like one of the ways that we ghost. I mean, even that like sends a little bit of a message. You don't know why. But
leaving somebody on read is like.
That's the ultimate ghost.
The ultimate ghost.
For surezies. Okay. Or other people like. Another kind of in the undesirable behavior, like reasons they may blame the ghostee is that they refuse to accept their rejection. Have you ever had that happen?
Oh.
We're like, which I don't consider that ghosting, but like.
I mean, it's the person that I was talking about earlier who was like, I got ghosted. And like, no, that person just told you this is done.
But have you ever had someone like you say no and then they keep trying to engage, like, well, why not? Or are you sure?
Or like somebody will say, I feel this way about your behavior, and then that invites that person defending themselves and saying like, no, I wasn't stalking you. I was just outside your apartment every day. Like, but like,
yeah,
it invites a conversation or a discussion about the validity of where those feelings are coming from, and that's way harder.
Yeah,
than just like. We're done.
No. Well, like this, I don't know why it came up as I was like looking through lots of things like that people would be like, they rejected my reason. Like, don't give a reason. I don't know why people are giving reasons. Don't say a reason when you do this. Just say,
are you talking to me right now?
I assume that you're one of those people that might actually include a reason. Do you do that?
Probably. Yeah.
Like what? Like, give me an example of like what reason you might put in your like. I'm not interested because something.
Right. No, I don't.
Oh,
do that.
Okay.
If I say anything at all on Grindr, it is something very short and sweet. We are not a match.
Yes, there you go.
Happy hunting. I will say that.
Yep. Happy coming.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. Okay. Yeah. Like, yeah, we're not a match. Sorry, not interested. I had an experience. Or just block them. I think that's all fair game. And anyway, I had someone recently where I was like, I Agreed. And then I tried to do the responsible thing. I was like, okay, sure. And then I was like, I'm never going to fucking go to coffee with this person. I'm just not. Maybe it was the mood. Like sometimes you catch me at moods where I'm like, I cannot mentally like sign up for things or whatever reason. I was like, you know what? I said yes. And I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to work, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what, you thought I wanted a date? That was so presumptuous. And then they like started like arguing with me a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we had to like, then I was like, got mad that they were arguing. I was like, hey, you said, do you want to go on a coffee date? So for me to assume that it was a date, that seems reasonable to me. Right, and like, and then after they're like, so do you want to hang out? I was like, no, this isn't working. Like, no. Beyond blaming the ghostee, the next biggest reason, 44% of ghosters said the reason was related to themselves. So it's actually the same pattern that we saw with ghostees. Like first they blame the other person, then blame themselves. So things like they're trying to protect themselves. And remember, this also includes straight people, which I think of women for things like fear of confrontation or being stalked or verbal abuse that can happen among any gender. But I think more so of women being afraid of like this app interaction turning into stalking, or men do like real creepy shit. Yep. So protecting themselves, not being emotionally ready, some like, other reasons that are related to yourself, forgot about the person, like you and I were talking about, or you're talking to other people, or got too busy. Those are some of the reasons that might be related to themselves.
Crushing depression.
I honestly, like, yeah, sometimes when I just can't, like, and, but other reasons, 29%, again, back to the app. They might have an overload of potential people. They might have decided to delete the app altogether, which, I would think that would happen, especially with gay people. Like, I downloaded it and then I deleted it again, and then I downloaded it. But maybe straight people do that too. Or 22% said that they had no obligation to communicate, which, I think that's fair.
Maybe. I mean, obligation is such a strong word, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you have an obligation to do or not do almost anything, really. Like,
that's true. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily make it not shitty.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then 16% said that it was the concern for the other person, like not wanting to hurt their feelings, like ghosting was better than explaining. This is another one where I'm like, why would you explain the reason? Ghosting was better than explaining the reason, or maybe they didn't want to appear like they were, they don't want to fake interest in this person just to like assuage them or whatever. So some smaller number, but 16% are doing it because they, whether it's true or not, genuinely think it's the better option.
Yep. Okay. So what about several weeks into hanging out with someone, or months, and like multiple dates, multiple hangouts? To me, the value of like ghosting somebody, if you've like not even met up, you're just on Grindr and you go back and forth, and then like, there is no obligation there whatsoever to communicate. I think it's ephemeral and transactional, and you can just stop whenever you want to. But after you've like met up and hung out and like indicated that maybe this is going somewhere, then is it okay?
I'm surprised you said that, because that more sounds like, I don't know. For some reason, that seems like more what my stance would be like. But I think you have a point. Like, once you meet up with someone, I think once you've met someone in person, whether it's a hookup or no, if you've met up once for a hookup and that was the end of that was the agreement. Like so many hookups, you're not. Do you want to become like, maybe you might have expressed your goal is to find a fuck buddy, but most hookups that it's possible that's the end. They don't owe you any follow-up communication. Like, dude, they went over to your house at 2 a.m. and fucked you raw. Like, what do they owe? What commitment did anyone make out of this? I think it's totally fair to go back, and if you say like hit them up again and they don't reply, I think that's totally fair. Yeah. So I think actually, if for meeting in person, it's just like you go on a date. If you're going to date with someone, that's when it is like, okay, you owe them some kind of explanation. Okay. Or just no, not interested. I've done it where, I think it's often for me, like maybe second, third date, fourth date, I'm like, okay, not feeling it. And I'll send the text of like, it's been great getting to know you, not feeling it, sorry, or whatever that I say to kind of end it. And I've gotten pretty good at like, especially if I've gone on a few dates with them, that I owe them that text.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
No, I'm with you. I think that there's not all ghosting is equal. There's
absolutely.
How much of an asshole are you? Very much is context dependent, and the history with that person. And,
are you on board with where I'm laying out the most asshole-ish?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, Kyle.
What?
Well, the situation with my not boyfriend,
mm-hmm.
and the feeling of like, do you have to break up with somebody who's not your boyfriend?
Mm.
And how or when do you do that? It's just, I don't know. It's almost like there needs to be a there or something. I don't know. I'm really uncomfortable now all of a sudden. Sorry.
Why are you uncomfortable? Let's talk about it. Let's talk through it.
Yeah. There was no closure to that relationship, whatever it was. And, but like, it's been long enough now that like, clearly we're both done with it. And like, is that mutual ghosting? I don't, and is it even ghosting if there was no actual like commitment in the first place?
Yeah.
Or how official does the commitment have to be before you owe somebody a closure? I don't know. Anyway, I'm stressing out.
I mean, what I have come to think or believe is that if you want to change the nature of your relationship, that's when you owe some kind of something. Like if you consistently are doing a thing, whatever it is, and it has to be over the course of, weeks minimum, but like maybe months. Like if you've been doing something, if the nature of your relationship is one way for a few months and you want it to be different than that, I want to stop hooking up with them. I want to hook up with them more. I'm in a relationship now and need to get out of this. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like if you want to change whatever's happening, that's when you owe a conversation. Because otherwise
it's ghosting.
I don't even know if I would call it ghosting. I think ghosting is like a subcategory of that or something. Like, like, because you could keep texting them and that kind of leads them on. And maybe ghosting actually might be a better option than just continue. Like that ghosting sucks, but does it suck more than continuing to talk for someone, over weeks and months and then come to find out they're dating someone or they're not into it and they didn't have the guts to tell you. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes ghosting sucks, but that would be better than leading you on just because you feel bad for confronting someone, which I've done that too. And so, hashtag no judgment, but like a little judgment, I guess.
Yeah. I'm busy judging myself, Kyle. It's fine.
You're the second cat. I think that is very interesting that each person, the biggest thing, almost 2/3, very roughly, the first thing they do in both groups is blame the other person. And then around 1/3, very roughly 1/3, blame themselves. And I think you and I both in the camp where we would blame ourselves. And there are a lot of people out there that would automatically blame the other person without thinking about whether they should blame themselves for that. That to me aligns with kind of how people would work.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Especially if they're Republicans.
Especially if they're Twerry.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. The last stat I will say is 44% said ghosting had long-term impacts on their mental health, like lower self-esteem, distrust in the world.
Oh, God.
Depression or even panic attacks. Those were rare, but those were also reported. So, I think that's also like, you said obligation is a strong word. What's your obligation? That's different than like, what's the respectful thing to do? Yeah. So
how do I not be the villain in this person's, biopic?
Yeah, but like, but if you just went around the entire world trying to not to be the villain for other people, you're spending your entire life catering to other people. Sometimes what someone else may describe as ghosting is not, and you don't have to work your ass off to make sure they don't feel like it's ghosting. Right. If you feel like you did the right thing, maybe they'll label you the villain, and you can't control that. Yep. And you deserve for your own like self or mental health or your own life to not have to work hard to make it so everyone loves every interaction with you. I fear you would overdo that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
it's kind of a good segue,
oh
actually,
my God.
because I was going to talk to you about the impact of ghosting.
Okay, yeah.
And there's lots. I read lots of articles, and 3 of them referenced the same quote.
Ooh.
Holocaust survivor Eli Wiesel.
Oh my God. Okay.
Who wrote Night, once said, quote, "The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference." And just talking about how like people would rather fighting and having a big blow up, it feels more cathartic than just I didn't care enough about you to even say something.
It's kind of like you have a place to pump and dump your emotions rather than nowhere to put those emotions. Like it feels better to be able to get your emotions out.
Yep. So one thing that I thought was really interesting is Psychology Today had an article about it called "Why Ghosting Hurts So Much." And they said that social rejection, like ghosting, activates the same pain pathways in the brain as physical pain.
Huh.
And in fact, one study at least showed that you can reduce the amount of emotional pain of rejection with Tylenol.
What?
Yeah.
This episode sponsored by Tylenol. Tylenol.com/gayish because you deserve something in your mouth. And if it's not a dick, it's got to be this painkiller.
But breaking up literally hurts, or at least it hurts your brain.
Yeah.
Your brain physically looks like it is in pain when something like this happens.
Interesting.
And interesting, and it makes me feel bad. Like, hopefully not in a catering to everybody else instead of my own shit kind of way, but like you're like actually hurting people.
Yeah.
And something else that is interesting that they looked at is this idea that you are creating worry. Like if the relationship has gotten to a point where they actually have feelings for you, like they are invested, and then you drop off the face of the earth, like you ghost them, then like, are you in like hospital somewhere? Are you dead?
Yeah.
Are you like, there's a natural, unavoidable, your brain panics about this person and gets no answers. And that is, it spikes your hormones, your cortisol levels go way up. It's a whole, there's a cascade of like physiological things that happen to that person because of that situation.
God, I feel like ghosting has become so common that I would just assume I'm ghosted rather than assume like maybe they're actually injured or need something. And like, I would just be like, well, fuck you. Like, meanwhile, they're in their apartment bleeding out or something.
There's a wave of X's in the ER.
Yes.
And then, of course, like the ruminating that people can do. You have to go through the whole cycle of grief, right? Like drink alcohol before doing anal. And
we haven't talked about that in a while.
Has it been a while?
Yeah.
Drink alcohol before doing anal. It's depression, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Drink alcohol before doing anal.
Where is fucking their ex? Where was that in the list?
That feels like bargaining.
Bargaining? Okay. I'll fuck my way through your ex back to your heart.
But like your brain can't help itself. But to fuck their ex. Like
my brain did it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be held responsible for that. But like, why didn't I see this coming? How could I have been such a poor judge of character? What did I do to cause this? The self-blame stuff that you're talking about in all of these studies. These really are like basic brain structure things that people can't help but go through. And what they've noticed is that there is a self-esteem impact from ghosting, from this kind of rejection, at least a certain kind of, it has to be. It can't be just the grinder you stopped talking kind of ghosting, but the like you're dating and care about a person and then they ghost you ghosting. Yeah. But it measurably impacts people's self-esteem. And if your self-esteem is already low, you, quote, are likely to experience the rejection as even more painful. And it may take you longer to get over it, as people with lower self-esteem have less natural opioid painkillers released into the brain after a rejection. So somebody who has higher self-esteem, when they are ghosted, their brain is better at tolerating it. But a person with low self-esteem, that is more painful to their brain, and it just like opioids are. Like,
that's interesting. Yeah, because I could, and been working on my self-esteem. So again, that's another place I'm like much better. I use heart emojis, and I have slightly more self-esteem. This is the progress I've made over the time.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, Mike. I'm proud of me too. I accept your compliment without self-defecation. Nope.
Great.
Self-deprecation.
Defecation too.
I didn't defecate.
Okay.
I rarely have defecated on this podcast. I will say that. No, but I can very much see, especially in the past, like getting rejected leads to a spiral that having low self-confidence wouldn't happen to other people of like, oh, this must be me. Oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I need to work out. Oh, I look worse. Like I could very much see that turning into a big spiral.
Yep.
And that's a hard spiral to stop when you have lower self-confidence.
Yep. Absolutely. And like some of that is chemical. Like it's not just you or your will or like a matter of talking to the right person. Like it very much can just be the chemistry of how your brain works. This is going to be harder for you.
Yeah. Huh.
I think that's fascinating. Now, there are some mental health professionals that say that being ghosted is emotional cruelty.
Wow.
And I don't know if I would go that far, but I think it's an interesting thing worth talking about. That the fact that the ghostie is powerless, and you are leaving them with no opportunity to ask questions or provide them with information that would help them emotionally process the experience. It silences them, prevents them from expressing their emotions and being heard. All of those things are important for maintaining self-esteem. All of those are important for this like pain pathway in your brain, and that to deny that person that is cruel.
I mean, okay. Like to deny them the opportunity. Like if I say, hey, not interested, we go on a few dates. Let's say it's even after a few dates. Hey, sorry, not interested, not feeling it. I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you a numbered list on the things about you that didn't like, so like if I'm denied, like, I guess they're allowed to have an emotional I guess they can communicate to me how that feels to them. But I would be like, if I got the response back, like, boy, or I could see something even basic. That's, that hurts to hear. Thanks for letting me know. I could see but like, if you're just going to be like, that's really hurtful. I can't believe you do that. Like, let me get out all my emotions. Like, I'm like, thank God I did that, because
sure.
Yes, you can have all those feelings and have those towards your friends or therapists. Like, I would not say this to the person that just did this, or why not? Like, they don't deserve to know the why, or like, you rarely does getting into the why, especially with somebody you've been on a few dates with. That just so rarely does that actually help to get into the details of it and talk it through. Like,
I don't know. What if it does? Like, what if there's math that says that it does?
I don't trust people enough to trust that I would get one of the beneficial. If someone said to me like, will you tell me why this didn't work out? One, I'd be like, fucking no. I would say something generic back, but like, I don't know. I just can't imagine saying like going down the list of like, hey, this story that you told was very uninteresting to me, and you didn't engage. Like, you didn't engage with me you talked for 30 minutes and didn't reply. Like, you didn't engage me in your story. Like, 2, I don't want to hear about your screenplay. 3, I like hypothetically again, like 3, I don't know, that shirt wasn't the right color. I don't know. Like, I just can't see that going great for anyone.
Yeah. I'll end this segment with one little thing about the gayish aspect here. Apparently, ghosting can be more difficult for LGBTQ people, and there are some theories about that. But this is from an article in LGBTQnation.com. Quote, most of us have grown up believing that this intimate, beautiful, and vulnerable part of us, our sexual attraction, is considered gross and shameworthy. So when we take the risk to open up and let someone in, our deepest wound can be triggered. It can touch on that unconscious, vulnerable part of ourselves that still believes that LGBTQ people are unlovable.
Wow.
And so it's, at least here in this article, this theory, that LGBTQ people are primed to be more hurt by rejection, and that ghosting is particularly damaging to them.
Which is why I say fuck every virgin you meet.
Yeah. Why?
Just let them get one in the bag, you know?
Oh, God.
Like, hey, young adult who's a virgin, you know what? Fuck me.
Oh, my God.
That's fuck me. Love me. I'm Meredith Grey.
Yeah, you are. One person said, quote, I like the term ghosting. It enables me to assume that he probably died. The dead do not text back. The living must proceed with their lives.
Maybe it is. I'm still on the like the emotional havoc this can wreak on LGBT, especially younger LGBT people who don't. Maybe it's good that the word ghosting is. I've been seeing all these things. Sometimes I'm like frustrated that these things are always out there. And it's like, gay men, stop ghosting. And it's like, is this really the pervasive issue? Like that people say, are we stereotyping? Hey, that's the topic of our show. Like, are we stereotyping gay men and saying they always ghost people and it's not anyone else? Like, our community gets really hit hard with this. And maybe that's good so that at least people going into it are aware that this could be a thing. So they don't, that may help kind of hedge some of the like, oh, I'm ashamed or my sexual orientation is bad, or, you know, maybe that can help with some of those.
Maybe. I think you're right that there is when you talk about something, then it becomes a thing. Mm-hmm. And so we talk about ghosting in the gay community so much that maybe we don't have as big of a problem as we think we do. It's just because people are bringing light to it and talking about it so much. The Advocate, I had an article in October of 2015 called "Gay Ghosting is an Epidemic."
Huh.
And going through, and it reads like an opinion piece mostly, but
sounds like an opinion piece.
But they're trying to say that, like, yes, it's a problem. It's a huge problem, and gay men are particularly bad at it.
I didn't see anything. So unfortunately, the study that I had didn't say anything specific to gay people in the results, even though gay people were included. The other study that I mentioned offhand is that was specific to, it was LGBTQIA plus people, which I think gay men would be an interesting. I did not see anything, and this is not that I'd like dug to the ends of the earth and didn't find it, but like I think gay men would be a specific, interesting, separate section. But in that LGBTQIA plus specific, they were asking about like what are the good and bad of dating apps and hookup apps, and it was like in the bad, it was like only the third biggest thing, and it was like 13% of people said that was a bad thing. Is that so like there's a little bit of me that like 13%. I wonder, like, okay, if that's the broader community, how much of that is gay? But like that alone, just like that number says, it's not the number one. Every queer person has to deal with it. It's not like the top challenges were lack of authenticity, and number 2 was bias and harassment, and then ghosting was number 3.
Wow.
So
just multiple ways we can be awful to each other.
God, we fuck ourselves in so many ways, good and bad.
I've seen that porn.
Oh my God, is there a ghosting porn?
Oh,
I don't know what it would be. I think I just guess that's just masturbation.
They all dress up like Scooby-Doo characters and have an orgy.
Ooh, who was it? Boop, it was my stepdad the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you talked about one experience where there might be like mutual ghosting. Can you think of like a specific experience that you had to deal with this? And
when I was ghosted?
Yeah. Or you ghosted someone.
I mean, I ghost people all the time in that, like, just stop talking to them kind of way.
Why is that? Why does that happen?
Usually it's because they are too sexually aggressive with me, like before I'm ready for that. All you have to do is ask, do you want to swap pics before just don't send me your dick, you know, like,
and you like, there's that like accepts NSFW pics that you can, I know
mine says not at first.
Yeah. So then you've made it very clear what.
Nobody reads the profile.
I read that. I mean, I don't have dick. That's not the issue. I try to do at least a little scan so I have something to say, maybe, if I care about them.
Let's talk about it more on Patreon, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know who listens to this.
Oh. I do. I have your names.
Great. Oh, yeah, that's true.
maybe, on the Patreon, we can talk a little bit more about ourselves. And then I also, if you want to, got a few scenarios from Ask Reddit of people asking questions about ghosting, and we can answer those.
Great. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have anything else to talk about ghosting? What do you think?
There are a lot of places that want to talk about the technology, right? That it's all of the apps and the internet that have like made ghosting a thing and usually from the angle of like, we dehumanize people that we interact with only virtually, and that makes it easier to then not treat them like a human or like with respect. And I think that there's something there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it has made human beings worse. I think that it's just made them more efficient at being terrible. Like, because if I think back to the 90s, before the internet was really a thing, in order to get a hold of somebody, you had to fucking call them on the phone or send them a letter, maybe an email. Like, it was so hard to get a hold of people. It was way easier to avoid them.
And like, you could just be like, their phone was busy. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah. Like the phrase so and so doesn't return my phone calls is because that's how we used to ghost.
Yeah.
Like, we just didn't call it that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not picking up the phone once for a couple of days. Done.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you can't really do that anymore. You can't hide anymore because we just know that everybody has a fucking supercomputer in their pocket that's connected to a global network 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think it's just more noticeable now, and that we've always been like this.
Yeah, and you can do it at a larger scale.
Yeah. Efficiency, Kyle.
Efficiency. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I tend to agree that, like, I don't think, I don't know. But we also, well, okay, something we also didn't mention is sometimes I get on and I don't realize this until I'm far down the line of like, oh, I was horny and just wanted to like have a sexy chat with someone, and I didn't actually want to hook up with someone.
Sure. Yeah. I just wanted to jerk off.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like, I think that's fine to do. And oftentimes I don't know, I did not realize about, like, it takes me getting into the conversation, and then that's why it gets to the, do you want to meet up? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like now, well, sometimes it's, well, I actually didn't want to hook up with anyone. I was just horny and wanted to jerk off or have like fun, hot conversation. Or sometimes anxiety. That's another thing that, like, then to make the decision to actually do it, my anxiety spikes, and I like, boy, that even if I did actually want to hook up with someone or like, but there's sometimes the anxiety wins out, and I'm like, that'll beat me off more often than a dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So did we do it?
Yeah.
Are we going to ghost, or are we going to actually close the show? You have to wait until after the break to find out.
You'll find out if we come back from the break. I'm a ghost.
Should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. That was bad.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
I had someone say, here's the hotel room. Went to the hotel room, knocked on the door. Didn't answer. So
oh my God.
I ghosted someone once on accident, and it was legit because my phone died. Oh. I was like going to, like, I couldn't be like, it's like, once you get here, let me know. And it was like, I couldn't. And I was like, fuck. That was annoying. That was one of those times where I wanted to be like, no, when I say then I had to drive all the way home. And then I had to be like, my phone died. I was there. But really, but I promise that's not a lie. Okay.
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 You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah. So are we back?
We're back.
We're back. We didn't ghost you.
We're still here. Well, we may still, there's still time.
Yeah.
There is still time yet. We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, I want to let everyone know that Janice Vilhauer, PhD, who's the director of Emory University's Adult Outpatient Psychotherapy Program and a psychiatrist, she says that there are 3 situations in which ghosting is not only justifiable, but absolutely what you must do. Number 1 is abuse. If you feel unsafe or if you have been abused, then disappearing without any explanation is totally in your best interest. Number 2, violating boundaries. If someone engages in a clear boundary violation, like showing up unexpectedly at your workplace, stealing from you, or acting in a way that is clearly out of line, that you feel threatened. Number 3, lying or manipulating. If you catch someone in a lie that is intended to manipulate you in some way, say you find out that the person you are dating is married, then that person has shown a direct disregard for your emotional well-being, and you don't owe him or her an explanation for anything. Anyway, just I wanted to throw that out there because we talked a lot about like ghosting, what does it mean, and the morality of it. But like at least according to this expert, there are 3 situations in which don't even question it. Just fucking close your phone.
It can't. Yes, I think that is right. It is absolutely a tool in your toolkit that you are allowed to use, and it, encouraged to use, and in certain situations you deserve to use it and not feel bad at all about it. So
we're gonna do our Gayest, Straightest. Oh, sorry. Also. So the friend of the podcast, Sarah Talk, Miss Talk if you're nasty. The Sarah Talk podcast is coming to a close. I just wanted to say bon voyage, girl.
Yeah, end of an era.
End of an era. But she's going to still continue with Humanist Trek. So if you want some of your Miss Talk, if you want more Miss Talk, she's doing it still.
She's still talking.
Yeah.
She's still Sarah. She's one of our most popular guests. People love her. So go check out her other podcast.
Yep. Our website is gayishpodcast.com.
Go to gayishpodcast.com/contact to figure out all the ways you can get involved in the community. That includes our Facebook group, our spaces, our Discord. All the links are there.
Our hotline. You can send us text messages or leave us voicemails. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. We got mail.
Ooh. This is a card from Caleb and Cal, who got married, and we saw their wedding through Facebook.
We went to their virtual wedding.
We went to their virtual wedding. Mike and Kyle, thank you so much for your generous gift and for joining us for our wedding. And thank you, as always, for Gayish, through which you provide so much happiness and laughter. With love, Cal and Caleb Vonderwell. Yeah, if you invite us to your wedding, we might give you something. I think that's what you need to know about that.
Oh my God.
What?
This has cash. This is interesting.
This is insane. This is the weirdest thing I've ever.
That's $300, Kyle. Okay.
In cash.
Mike and Kyle, first, as a man in my midlife in a hetero marriage, I am finding myself questioning everything about my life and who I am, especially my sexuality. So I am a sponge for learning about gay shit and came across your podcast about a year ago now. So thank you. I find you both to be very insightful, funny, and intelligent, and I'm pretty sure I would blow you both. Winky face. But seriously, I have learned a lot, and you have helped me answer some questions about myself. I've listened to every episode now and do not have a Patreon account, and I feel guilty for taking in all of your content and not contributing, so please accept this money for the show or use it to have a nice dinner and drinks or go hire someone to do whatever your little hearts desire. Much respect, Matt. I have messaged with Mike before. P.S. I know I shouldn't send cash through the mail, but take it and shut the fuck up. I don't need a lecture. Have a great day.
Damn, Daddy. All right. You know what? That extra part at the end is you know what? I'm doing what the fuck I want with my money.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
All right.
Local gay bar review.
Ooh.
Sorry. Still in Amsterdam now because you're like following me around after the Blend XL catastrophe. I want to talk about.
We did get a comment in Discord about someone who went there and had a lovely time. There were in fact people there.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy the local gay bar review counterpoints that might get posted in our episode chats in Discord.
Absolutely. Yes. Differences of opinions about gay bars make the world go round.
Yeah. I
want to talk to you about Prick. Prick is the name of a gay bar in Amsterdam. Okay. I think it's fucking hilarious.
That is really funny.
It is a it's a smaller place, but it's very cozy. Lots of really great seating.
It's like my butt.
A terrifying staircase down to the restroom, but that's like par for the course for Amsterdam. It seems like all of the plumbing is like underground and like they want to kill you on your way there. But lots of different kinds of people. Marcy was very comfortable being there with me because it wasn't just a gay dude bar. It was like, across the whole spectrum. Had an absolutely wonderful time. I love that place. Go to Prick. Enjoy the Prick. 4.5 dildos.
Why, Mike Johnson?
What?
I fucking hate your guts, and I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you until you're dead, and
then
you're
I'll be a ghost.
Why not 5?
Because I didn't get laid, Kyle.
Okay.
I have to get laid.
All right.
For there to be
I take back.
bar.
All right, no, that's me. I take back my yelling.
There might be a 5 dildo bar in our near future, though. We'll see.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Dear internet.
Now, should we do our finally do our fucking gayest?
Yes.
Sorry,
yes.
That took so long.
That's okay. I'll talk now.
Okay, great.
My gayest is when I did not know this, that when your breast, like when you pump your when you have a kid,
where is this going?
And you pump milk and just throw it away.
Pump and dump.
It is called a pump and dump.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend said that phrase, and I had this immediate.
That was Saturday,
and I was like, oh. That means something totally different. My gayest is explaining to my straight friends what the phrase pump and dump meant in the gay worlds. And then they said, which I thought was a good point, they were like, when I explained it, I was like, oh, you're just like, dumping your seed into my butt. They were like, oh, I thought it meant like afterwards you dump out the cum into the toilet. I was like, oh no. But that makes a lot of sense.
I am a cum dumpster, a receptacle for the cum.
Right.
That is being dumped into me.
I also think the phrase cum dump would be better explained as what I do after the cum dump, which is like cum dump. It's all coming out.
Great.
I got to cum dump this into the toilet.
That's what Diana Ross's "I'm Coming Out" is about.
So much sperm. Love my cummies. My straightest is
no.
No. My straightest is I had people over, had a bunch of pizza. So afterwards, all these pizza boxes. The fact that I'm just placing the pizza on top of my little garbage can and then just pressing real hard on them to get them into the trash.
Yep.
And then I have like 3 more to do. So I'm just stuffing these things that don't fit by just pressing very hard on them to get them into my trash can that doesn't really fit.
Yep. Sometimes when I'm super lazy, I will take the bag out of the rigid garbage can, and then that leaves a lot more room.
Yeah.
But then you have to be careful not to stuff so much shit in there it won't go down the garbage chute.
That's what I'm trying to I stuffed it real hard, and it needs heavier things because if you just do pizza boxes, it gets stuck. So I'm like waiting to have heavier shit to throw away to add to this, so I don't have to walk the 4 floors down to put it in the garbage room because that's so much work. I do that with compost now because I'm a good human and I'm saving the earth one banana peel at a time.
Good for you.
Yeah. Jack off into it too. That was a lie. Your turn.
Cummies.
Nope.
So the straightest thing about me this week, last night I went to trivia for Marcy's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And it was a bunch of straight people. I was the only gay person there. And there was a category that was before and after, where like they'll name 2 questions, but then you'll mash them together, the answers together.
Oh.
And I correctly got the answer. The answer was Kevin Durant eater. But Kevin Durant is a basketball player. And
got it.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
I know, right? I was like, I don't know where I pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah.
But, Kevin Durant can bang me if he wants to. Anyway, okay. The gayest thing about me this week is last night at trivia, the category about musicals came up, and the whole table of straight people just like whiplashed. Their faces looked at me to be like, "This is on you."
Were they correct? I mean, did you?
No, oh. I didn't know. The question was very hard, and I knew none of it.
Mike Johnson, disappointing straight people one at a time since however long.
A listener's gayest is straightest.
Oh yeah, I have it here.
Go for it.
There is every week, Derek, our production assistant, posts to Instagram the ability for you to reply, and he posts some of our favorite gayest and straightest. So follow us at Gayish Podcast, but picking ones from those. Gayest, seeing how far ChatGPT could take my smutty fan fiction about my D&D character.
I bet pretty far.
I bet you got a warning. Like a hey.
That violates our policy.
I see what you're doing, and hey.
Yeah.
Straightest, from a different person, wolfing down 20 chicken nuggets and 2 medium fries in one sitting.
Yeah. Gays don't eat.
Gays don't eat.
And they don't poop.
And they don't poop. Chapbook available.
God, did we do it?
Yeah, we did something. I think we figured out why people did it and the impacts of it and when to do it. And I think you know what? I think we did ghosting.
Yeah. 4 dildos.
Neither of us hooked up after this, so it can't get a 5. Yeah, true.
Thank you to Charlize Theron for making ghosting a thing.
Yeah, and thank you to Cummies.
No. No.
Get in my belly. Also,
Go ahead.
Also, thank you to our super gap bridgers: Andrew Bugby, Christopher M., John Crowley, Stephen Porch, Yo Stoschel, Harry Shaw, Josh Copeland, Jonathan Montanius, Forrest Nail, Patrick Martin, James Barrow, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Kevin Henderson, Thomas B., Dusty Sands, A.E. Coleman, Chris Cratchatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Also, at least one of those names, your Christmas card got returned because your address is wrong. Everybody log into Patreon and give us your fucking addresses so that we can send you shit. Yeah. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be boo. God, I hate us so much.
Yeah. That needs to go over there because I will continue to play with it.
Okay, while we're doing this. Let me also change this again. I didn't do my adequate futzing before we.
Derek was like Dom topping us into starting.
I know. Well, it is 9 p.m.
It is 9 p.m.
I think his bedtime started an hour ago.
Yeah, that's true.